Morning. Great work yesterday, guys. This morning we got the Elliott Williams 1 o'clock shotgun. We have some teeth out this morning and then get a big gap, so we're gonna double cut, double over.
Is that shop coffee?
No, Speedway.
Speed.
Yeah, big Speedway guy. That's the diet. Extra large coffee in the morning, and then usually like a Red Bull, and then late morning, and Celsius early afternoon. Keeps it going.
Mike McCormick, ground superintendent at Oakmont Country Club. I think Oakmont is very unique from anywhere else in the world in the standard that exists from our membership, in that doesn't matter every day of the year, Monday through Sunday, every day is exactly the same. Typical day at Oakmont starts the day before. Myself, Max, our director of agronomy, Justin and Grant, our assistants, we sit down the day before, talk about where we're at from an agronomics standpoint. We look at the weather, we look at events, and then we start thinking about A, like what can we do better on course, B, what do we have to execute the next day from golf course preparation standpoint, as well as create a schedule. Next day, we roll in half hour typically before the staff starts. We sit down, we look at the schedule again, we make any tweaks that we have to make, go meet with the staff in our break room for our morning meeting. Everyone splits out for morning assignments. It's a very fast moving train. We have to be very efficient with our time, given that from mid-April, every single tee time is full. So really rely on our assistants to manage the staff, be our eyes and ears on the golf course. They're doing the job of a normal superintendent.
If it gets like unplayable later, and the event's through. And I think you can get more aggressive.
My name is Max Clausen from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. I'm the director of agronomy at Oakmont Country Club. It's assistant's job here is to just make sure everybody's on the same page. So my day looks like is just kind of managing the crew. So moving the crew from the morning around the golf course in an efficient manner, making sure, if one aspect of the operation is falling behind, to be able to pull from the front end and feed them guys to be able to get done before play. That's the standard, is that the golf course is presented and prepared before the first group. I'm constantly I'm working with them, I'm pushing them, I'm figuring out who needs help and moving it all along. So just kind of the eyes and ears of the operation. Every day at Oakmont is the same because the standard is the same, right? It's excellence. It's championship level playability and conditioning. So it's how we can achieve that, our standard, without jeopardizing the turf health or longevity of the plant.
At Oakmont, and this dates back to the club's inception in 1903, everything has always been about creating the firmest, fastest conditions as humanly possible. We don't have off days. There's no days where we can pull back on maintenance. The expectation is that the greens are rolling 14 on the stent meter every single day. It's not fast, it's not slow, that's just the expectation, that's the norm. It's well documented. I think in 1977, they went around the country and started using stent meter on a lot of the top clubs. You go back to that time, Oakmont's greens were 9.5, everyone else's were 6, 7 on the stent meter. Our greens are probably the closest thing you'll ever see to 100% POA annua. Superintendents since the beginning of time have been pushing the envelope. You can go back and look at pictures of guys pulling 2-ton rollers across these greens. So they've probably always been cut lower, rolled too much, and what that has created is a very unique strain of POA annua. It doesn't seed head as much as other POAs. The density of that POA is extremely high.
And to be able to achieve those firm and fast conditions, any given day, it's constantly understanding environmentally where we're at in the season, forecasting, and coming up with agronomic programs and procedures to be able to deliver the standard.
From an irrigation standpoint, we are trying to apply as little water as we possibly can. We want to push the turf as close as it can possibly get to the brink of death without actually crossing that line. We exclusively water greens by hand, and it just allows us to be even more spot specific with where the water is going. There are native push-up greens that have been heavily modified over decades through aerification and top dressing. One green might start wilting at 7%, one green might be 10%. So to me, watering at Oakmont is more of an art than a science.
I had a greens loop for 4 years, and when you're on these greens every single day in the summer and you do it for 4 years straight, you start to learn the greens like the back of your hand, and that's the beauty in it. Like, you'll walk outside of the office to go water and you can kind of feel environmental conditions, check humidity, wind, temperature, and be able to know, like, I better get out to the back of 14 green because that's probably wilting right now. That's a fun part of it. And that's constantly, like, you have a pulse on the golf course at all time.
All right, my name's Cale Gormley. I'm a first-year intern here at Oakmont Country Club.
Evan White. I am a first-year agronomist. It's my second year back here. Did an internship and then kind of fell in love with the property.
Interns are a big part of our program. We're fortunate that we're able to hire entirely from within. I started at Oakmont as an intern. All our assistants started at Oakmont as interns. And that really, you can trace that back decades. It's always been that way. So that's really like guys coming in and they're building their foundation. Then they get out of school, they come back as full-time guys and start building up from there, trying to work towards that assistant role.
So you should be doing a good enough job, the management, developing and teaching kids where, like, you never have to go out and look for another guy somewhere else. We don't turn down interns for lack of experience. All we're looking for is good attitude. They could show up to Oakmont, it could be their first day on a golf course, doesn't matter, right? It's my job, it's the other guys' jobs to get them where they need to be, development, teach them the culture.
I wanted to push myself to the boundaries. If you want to be one of the best, you learn from the best. And I just felt as soon as I got the opportunity, I was all in.
Yeah, for the interns, it's making sure that you're perfect, or at least as close to perfect as someone can be is key here. And that's different than other places I've worked, let's just say that. Making sure you're not scalping, making sure you're not missing sprays. It's important that you're as dialed in as you can be here. Yeah.
You have to offer something that's unique to what they're going to get somewhere else. Just having guys come in here, push mowers, isn't good enough anymore.
All right, I'll meet you there, we'll paint it out. Sure. It's gonna be like to the left of that main tee.
We really try to offer a comprehensive educational program from the minute our interns get in here to the minute they leave.
The thing about working here as an intern is that they get you to do so many different things. Like, you're not stuck on one task for the entire summer.
You know, we're doing constant airifying, top dressing, spraying. You know, it's not just you're coming here and you're just gonna cut, you know, weed whack. No, as long as you work hard and you show interest, like, you're gonna do everything.
The management staff here is unbelievable at getting you to see the entire golf course and how everything operates. It's a really great experience.
I think to be a really diversified turf manager, you have to have experience in every single thing that we do. And honestly, putting guys a little bit out of their comfort zone is key in that.
There's definitely a ton of pressure on not just myself, but everyone here.
Oakmont's a golf factory, so it's all about speed and efficiency. You know, we're trying to do too much every single morning, and that's how we like it. We like to overschedule. We like to move things around. We like to get as much accomplished in one day as humanly possible. So you gotta be fast, you gotta have urgency and efficiency. It's all built around that.
If you look at the property right now, you know, we got a million projects going on and there's never a dull moment. You know, you're constantly on your toes and you got to be ready for anything. And the chaos is something that, you know, I enjoy and I love, especially with a big time crunch coming up.
It's a learning experience. We give quizzes, we give tests, there's a turf bowl at the end of the year. Interns give their own presentations. We package that all up, and when those guys walk out that door, not only do they have the infield experience, but they have off the golf course experience as well.
The way that management runs this golf course, it's unlike anything I've ever seen. They are so invested in the success and the outcome of what we do out here, and they're trying to instill that kind of sense of pride into the interns. If I was going to take anything away from this golf course, I wish I could take 10% of what management does and how they manage their staff here and take that to another golf course, and that would be, I think, the greatest outcome for me, for myself personally.
You know, this culture here is unlike anywhere else I've ever been, and I played hockey and I'm a huge team guy. You push each other, and it makes everybody better.
Everything starts with culture. Every single person at Oakmont takes immense pride in what they do. Most of them want to make this their long-term career. So when you take all that passion, drive, honestly, youth, and apply it to the product that we produce on a daily basis, that's how we get where we want to be. It all comes from the team.
I think that's the key point, is that, you know, you're asking these guys to work these long days and there's grinds in the summer that you have to find a way, like, you know, I'm good. How do I get 40 other guys in the break room to buy into what we're doing and grind and work through challenges? And so I think being a motivator, keeping everybody high energy, keeping people engaged, I think that's probably my #1 role, really, when it comes down to it.
I think the most rewarding aspect of our entire grounds maintenance program is seeing guys move on and find their own success within this industry. Oakmont's a place we don't want lifetime assistants. We don't want guys to come in here and be here for 10, 15 years. Like, we want guys to come in, you know, learn as much as they can in the quickest period possible, get prepared for the next step in their career. That's what we want to see.